Hola, welcome back to Grandma Goes Gringo.
Hi, Grandma Goes Gringo.
Hola, welcome to my YouTube channel, Grandma Goes Gringo.
No kidding.
Now, in many of our museums, in many of our squares, we have monuments. Here we have a monument of a famous Cuencano in the Plaza San Sebastián, Miguel Moreno. Miguel Moreno was a famous Cuencano poet. He did a lot of poetry. But in many of these squares, if we look how beautiful the square is. Now, guess who's the one who started planting little flowers? Eudoxia Estrella. Because when you look at a picture of this square in 1978, this square was just a square. It had no trees, it did not have the monument. So just what Eudoxia Estrella started was just a beginning. Because with that and her living here and with her influence she had, they also started a green area program, a project. So Eudoxia Estrella contributed a lot. Look at all the beautiful squares we have in the historic center. San Sebastián, San Blas, we have el Parque Calderón or la Plaza Mayor. Now in this square there's two very important events that occurred. One is a tragic love story. In 1736, the French geodesic mission of Paris, they arrive in Quito. One of those doctors, he goes ahead of the team and he arrives in Cuenca. When he arrives in Cuenca, there was a gentleman from this parish who was sick. So since he was sick, his daughter gets the physician. Oh, my dad is sick. Brings him home. Jean Senigueres, the French physician, takes care of the dad. But in this time that the dad's getting better, they fall in love. The daughter falls in love with the French doctor. But back then it was a taboo. Why? Because she was engaged to be married. That's why they called her Manuela Quesada da Cusinga. So there was a duel, and the French doctor passed away. That's the tragic love story of San Sebastián. On November 2nd, 1820, the group of men from the Independence Movement, they meet here in the square. Then early in the morning, November 3rd, 1820, they go down to Parque Calderón today, or La Plaza Mayor, and the Spanish retreat from the city. That's when we gain our independence from the Spanish rule. If you guys ever decide to come back again to Cuenca to visit or to come live, the fiestas of Cuenca for the independence are incredible fiestas, of programs that they have scheduled throughout all of the city. Now, from this perspective also, we can see how they just restored the tower of the Church of San Sebastián. But who's responsible for the reconstruction of the actual church we see today? Juan Bautista Stiel, the German architect priest. You're going to hear me mention him a lot today, and the bishop. We can walk on down.
That was awesome. All right, we're behind. How beautiful this house. Qué bonita.
We have the Worcester Polytechnical Institute of Massachusetts. Those students from Worcester, they do interdisciplinary study abroad projects. They're the ones who did the projects for the bike lanes here in Cuenca.
Nice.
And there's certain areas of that bike lane people were against because you had to remove a few trees, a lot of conserving, the damage that they were doing. I have a friend who's a biologist, a Cuencano biologist, and he has a project that's called Safe Bio. what this project does is they tag trees. You know, you say, why tag a tree? Do you know that we need 7 trees, all of us, to live? So the same bio is to tag the trees in Cuenca and the surrounding areas of Cuenca. You know, they can do it. He then does the scientific calculation with the servers, etc., etc., etc. And the biologists can then, you know, with their formula, see how many trees. That's the idea. To get a bunch of university students, school children, parents together tagging trees. That was his idea, but his project also now is a pilot project in other countries. So Gustavo is very busy. We're gonna be starting pretty soon Cuenca's 4 rivers, where we're gonna be. I'm gonna be driving everyone to certain areas that you rarely see, and then we're gonna be able to introduce you to the native species of trees and shrubs along the 4 areas, and then lunch or dinner.
Nice.
So, look forward to that.
Yes.
I used to do before COVID like a monthly calendar of events, of trips, and that had the success because before that I used to plan something like a week ahead, and it was hard. But with that calendar, there was more feedback. Yeah. So now post COVID, I think
Are you still doing the Cajas trips?
see.
Sign me up.
Okay, it's definitely.
Do you help? You go hiking?
See.
Perfecto.
Yeah, I want to go too.
Yeah, good. Good.
Absolutely.
Well, good.
Listo.
I came here to be as busy as possible.
Me too.
We're gonna keep you busy.
This is supposed to be, retirement shouldn't mean the end, it should mean the beginning. And it's the beginning of my adventures.
We have to look at the beginning of every day that we wake up, it's a new event.
Yes.
When I wake up in the mirror, before I used to wake up like, fuck, shit, complain about everything. Now, I wake up like, damn, you look handsome. I shoot myself up.
See, there you go.
I
Yeah.
have that attitude.
Yeah.
You know? And when you carry that out, you know, you make someone laugh throughout the day. Absolutely. And you make your own day. Please be careful.
And laughter is the best medicine. Big bus.
These are pretty. I'm gonna give you a little about the architecture, but these are pretty cool to take also to see the second floor of the homes in the historic.
Yeah. My most popular video on YouTube is of that. Yeah.
Now, here, from this perspective, we have when the Spanish founded Cuenca in 1557. They started with the Plaza of with the parish of San Sebastián and San Blas. These were parishes for the indigenous people where they had to go attend Mass. They were segregated. They weren't allowed to attend Mass in El Sagrario, the today old cathedral.
Huh.
So this is the westerly end of Cuenca during the foundation. And all the way at the end, we have the easterly end of town. Today we have both floors, San Blas, San Sebastián, Todos Santos, and El Vado. Those mark the boundaries of our city. Now the city has grown extensively as you saw on the southern side, and it continues to grow. We're going to be going down this Calle Simón Bolívar, but as we go down, in this space where we have this building today, this is where Miguel León Garrido was born. That's where his family's property was. Miguel León Garrido is the bishop who gave the orders to the priest to construct Casa de la Temperancia, to reconstruct San Sebastián, to construct Escuela 3 de Noviembre. He's the one responsible for the new cathedral, for San Alfonso. And Juan Bautista Steele is also responsible for the first bridges connecting rural communities to the city. So they did it well. Garrido, he was born, well, not in this house that we see physically, but his parents had their property here. Now, Miguel León Garrido, the bishop, here in Cuenca in 1871, we had a Cuencano. His name was Tadeo Torres. Tadeo Torres, he was the economist for Gabriel Garcia Moreno, he was one of our earlier presidents in the 1860s. So this guy acquired a huge estate, but he had no family. So in 1871, he does while he was still alive, a will. He leaves his entire estate to the disposal of the Bishop Miguel León Garrido. For what? For the founding of the first orphanage here in Cuenca in 1876. Orfanato Tadeo Torres, named after the person who left the money. So the bishop brings, if you see right on top, it says Hijas de la Caridad, or Daughters of Charity. There was a religious order of nuns that was brought from Europe to take care of the children when they founded the orphanage. So you see the bishop, not only did he construct the cathedral, he also contributed, and he was a modern bishop. He wasn't a local bishop. He was a modern. Today we still have the orphanage Tadeo Torres. Inside the new modern building, you have the orphans from 12 to 18, and they also have the senior citizen home today that the nuns take care of. The orphanage Tadeo Torres, they have 33 children from 4 to 12 years old. That's in another section of Cuenca. From this perspective here, look at this beautiful building. Look at the architecture.
Wow, look at that.
A lot of people that I meet, that I've guided throughout time, sometimes we have the confusion. Our city of Cuenca, we were founded during colonial times. Colonial city. We have colonial churches that were founded in the historic center of town. But the historic center of Cuenca undergoes a transformation period in the early 20th century. Why does this occur here in the historic center of Cuenca? A lot of Cuencano families had their businesses had two exportations. The first one is you had prominent Cuencano families who had the properties in the historic center. They started exporting the chinchona tree, or the bark from the chinchona tree. From this bark during World War I, they used to extract the quinine, which is used to treat the soldiers for malaria during World War I. So that was exported from this region, from the southern part of Ecuador, to the world. So a lot of families had a little more money coming in. So since they had a little more money coming in, they could the transformation of the architecture of the historic center. It's towards the end of the Republican period of architecture. That's between 1830 and 1940, where we have a lot of French influence. As we can see in this beautiful building, look at the beautiful embossed tin right below the roof. The wrought iron gates, the castings. Now, the owner of this home, he was a relojero, a watchsmith. So he goes to Europe, brings back pocket watches, some pieces for repairs. So in the early 20th century, since there was a boom of new constructions in the historic center of Cuenca, where he starts importing that tin, the embossed tin from Europe. So he starts selling it to these other Cuencano families. So he starts making a little more money. Since he starts making a little more money, he buys the adjacent property that if we cross over, I'm going to be able to show you now. Look at that beautiful building there.
Wow.
That's the adjacent property that he purchases. After he starts selling that embossed tin to Cuencano families for the construction of their new home. Look at how beautiful that is. And the material is marble from this region. That marble was exploited. We no longer have this marble, but this marble they used to bring from Sayao Sea, which is on the west end of our Cuenca today. Now, it's one of the amazing things is, and this is how the pieces of the puzzle go all fitting together as we walk down. I mentioned to you Eudoxia Strayer, the founder of the Biennial of Art. Today, in this beautiful building here, and this one has two entrances. This home is L-shaped. It has the entrance on the Simón Bolívar facade, and it has the entrance on the Esteban Toral facade. Today is the offices for the Biennial of Art. And as we walk down, we're going to see the architecture from different periods of time. One of the stronger periods of influences that we have in the historic center is the late Republican period, which is in the early 20th century. And we have a complete transformation of homes. But from there, from 1940s to 1970s, we also have, it happened worldwide, Art Deco.
That's a fancy dress, isn't it?
Many of these homes in the historic center of Cuenca, when they construct them, they have their patios, sub-patios, and gardens. Now, we're a World Cultural Heritage Site. The architecture in the historic center has to remain as is. The facades and the interior people can change them. But we're going to be walking into the Mansión Alcázar. The Mansión Alcázar used to belong to the Vasquez family. The Vasquez family is a very prominent Cuencano family they've been bankers. And Vasquez family, they also have a jewelry store in Ecuador that's called Joyeria Vasquez. Joyeria Vasquez is like Tiffany and Company, like Cartier. Now, the Vasquez family, they sold the Mansión Alcázar recently to another wealthy Cuencana family, the Vintimilla family, who have been into the five-star restaurant and hotel industry their entire life. We're going to be able to go inside, get a feel of the place.